Yes, brother.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's been a long time, huh?
It's been a very long time.
It has, man. You keeping well?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah. Obviously the Corona thing, yeah, messes up my plans. But like anybody, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we're hanging in there, man. And I'm healthy. My family's healthy, and I think that's the most important thing, right?
that's right. That's right. I think this time for many people, it's a time to get ahead, you know?
Yeah, I
The
agree.
world has
Yeah,
slowed down. I think in the future, we're going to be looking back and wish that we maybe would have done more with this time.
for sure. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree, man. And it also gives me a different mind state and brings my attention to more important things than just chasing successes and stuff like that. Just a moment of peace of mind, and you know,
Yeah,
seeing what's important in life. So,
that's it. And I think for
so my
people like
brother,
us, when
say
things are
what?
always happening so fast, we're living life in the fast lane. It's hard to really tune in and focus on what's important. And it's like you said, quarantine is that perfect time to do that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And also, it gives you a moment to reflect on life. I'm just for 20 years I've been going, 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 and I didn't even live in the moment. I don't even understand what I all achieved. And now I got this moment. I'm like, oh wait a minute, this, I did that. I've toured around the world. I've met so many interesting people.
Yeah,
Amazing stuff, man. So, ja, ik spreek Nederlands. So just
yeah,
one
man.
guy
That's
said you're speaking Dutch, so I commented on him. So I'm sorry, bro.
like you say, when so much is happening over the years and you're winning all of these things, you're traveling from country to country, you don't really have time to enjoy those moments and really celebrate the wins. And it's
Yeah.
not until life passes you by, you're like, shit, man, I should have celebrated a bit more. I should have slowed down a bit more.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
it's exactly where
I
I'm at as
realized
well.
that. Yeah. Bro, there's some people saying that they don't hear you very well.
Hear me. What about if I get a bit 2 seconds? Let me get closer.
Shuri, what's up? Good to see you. Indonesia's in the house.
Yes, guys. Is
You
that better?
know, guys, that I've got Indonesian ancestors.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, from Surabaya.
Surabaya, yeah, man.
Yeah,
Nice. It makes
yeah. And
sense,
my wife
obviously,
is
with the
from the
Dutch.
Moluccan Islands.
There's a lot of Indonesians in Holland, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It used to be a colony.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
My
So, brother,
story is,
I'm very, very, very happy to talk to you. And there's a lot of people that already know you, but there's also some people, most likely in my viewers, that not that familiar with you. And I think it's time for people to recognize you because you came a long way, and you're an amazing player. So I wanna ask you to introduce yourself for a little bit.
okay. So my name's Rico Zulkarnain. I'm 30 years old. I'm from a country in the UK called Wales. Obviously, it's not really known for like street soccer or for skills or flair. And yeah, I'm really one of the founders in Wales with regards to street soccer. After following the likes of you guys, all the street soccer players from Holland, way back when YouTube was just really taking off, and you guys were pioneers, like the Masters of the Game stuff, Aka Magazine, Pana Knockout, all of that sort of stuff. I remember the DVDs, you guys coming out of like Gates, I think it was Lenny on there as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's what really sparked my love, my interest for street soccer. I grew up in academies. So when I was a young player, for me, my life was all about football, football, because that's all it was in my country. And then I reached around, I think, maybe 13, 14, 15. And then I opened up my eyes to you guys on YouTube. And I think it was around about the time that I was watching like the Nike adverts with
Hmm.
Ronaldinho, the flip flaps are going crazy. And yeah, like I say, the street soccer stuff started to come into my life. And to cut a long story short, I entered some competitions around Europe, like the street soccer ones. Met some of the guys like Sian, Lich, Bangkok, Easy Man. And again, they just opened up my eyes and was like, yo, the way that these guys manipulate the ball is different to anything in the UK at the time. This is like it was like football reinvented for me. And my brain just
Yeah.
sort of fell in love, like, yo, I need to learn what this is, the way they maneuver, the way they move. It was all different to me. And that's when I found out about futsal. So I didn't really find out about futsal until I was 23. And then I left football aside and I dedicated my life to futsal. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
sort of my upbringing, my story.
Amazing, man. And I saw you going very hard on social media, and
Yeah.
I thought it was funny because you remind me very much of Lenny Netep. You know,
Oh yeah.
you know Lenny Netep, right?
Yeah, I've got him on here and
Yeah.
stuff.
So you guys are a little bit big for a street football player, right? But you
Yeah,
guys
facts.
know how to use your body. You turn away from your defenders. You know how to score. You're strong on the ball. But
Yeah.
people underestimate how quick you are for a guy your size. So it was surprising for me, man. And when I first saw you, I was like, wait a minute, who's this guy, man?
Yeah.
Shooting, turning away from his opponent, doing crazy stuff, half field goals, everything, man. I really love what you were doing, and I really like that you're from Europe, but for me, and maybe it's totally different, but I felt like you're peaked in Asia, and that's where
Yeah.
you made your name for yourself, and that's where you grew as an athlete and as a person. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Sure. That's correct. Yeah. And it's like you say, for me growing up, when I was a kid, I was kind of a fat kid. So all I could rely on was my skills and my shooting because I couldn't run a lot. So when I reached 18 and I started learning about taking care of your body, I was already good at shooting. I was already good at skills. So when that fitness came, like in Asia, I sort of flew, man. And I really started to take off and, like you say, become an athlete.
Yeah, yeah, it was amazing to see. And then I remember, and that was I wouldn't say an emotional moment, but it was definitely a moment where I realized that what influence we had as the first generation of street football. We physically met in India for the first time. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And
Yeah.
we had a pre-game interview. Remember?
I can't remember the interview, but I remember India a lot.
Like a press conference. They were talking about the new the game who was coming up, and you were telling about the legends from Holland, and that
Ah,
you
yeah,
knew us
yeah.
from way back then, and you gave us so much respect before the game. And
Yeah.
then when the game begun, you were like a monster, man. It was like you totally forgot about those words and you just put all your passion and energy in the game. And it
Yeah.
was an interesting game, right?
Yeah, it was an amazing game. And that's what it was for me. You know, when it comes to that quote, when they say your idols become your rivals, for me, it wasn't a rivalry. It was a chance for me to show, like, yo, look at you, what you guys started. And it was a chance for me to really show my capabilities, you know, to
Yeah.
really ball, man. That's what it was for me. I
And
remember
you
being
did
next
it.
to you and Issy just being like, yo, I can't believe this is even real. So right now it's your chance to just shine. And I remember, yeah, being blown away, man. For me, it was a dream, you know?
Yeah.
Like with
Yeah.
regards to everybody they look at in the football world, it's like, yo, Ronaldinho and all those guys. But if you're really, really into this street soccer from the founding days, for me, you guys are on that same platform. It sounds crazy to say, but in terms of pioneers and goats and when anybody's shouting those names, they need to be putting you up there.
I appreciate it, man. I really do. Yeah, especially coming from a guy like you know, because
Yeah.
yeah, you are also the guys that, keep the fire burning inside. Because
Yeah,
when
man.
I see guys like you, that's where I enjoy the game, and I'm like, I don't wanna stop yet.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
just want to continue playing, and you guys set the bar. It's with
Yeah.
every guy that I've met, and I see bring it to another level.
Mhm.
I just hold on to that and try to still compete, even though I'm an older dude.
Sure,
So
man. It
I
sounds
really need.
crazy.
Say
Even
what?
being DNA, like speaking to you, like I'm getting shivers because I remember being that young boy just watching you on the screen, not even knowing who you are. Like,
Yeah,
yo, this guy, and Nate, you're my friend. It's mad for me. It doesn't seem real. Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
crazy. I remember even on Instagram, I think it was like you and Issy trying to get fit. I remember seeing you in these weighted vests and you was doing
yeah.
stuff on the resistance bands. I'm like, yo, that's the stuff I need to get on. So just as much as you might think that we're inspiring you, you're inspiring us still to this day, you know?
I'm happy to be able to do that, man. I really do.
Yeah, man.
So I want to go back to India, man, because India was an experience, good and
It was
bad.
experience.
Um, I remember that I think we played the first game against you, right?
Yeah, yeah. 4-4
Yeah.
draw.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
Izzy and myself, we didn't play a lot, and we
yeah.
went crazy on the bench.
I remember.
Um,
I remember.
but when we grew into the tournament, we got better and better. And I think from the start, you already saw that the final was going to be the game against you, Delhi
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
Bombay.
It's
There
the
were
team to
two
know for
other
sure.
very interesting teams, but can you tell me a little bit more about the tournament? How did you experience?
Yeah, for me, the whole opportunity to play in India came up really short, man. It was like the day before. I remember messaging the guy, hey, I want to come and play in Premier Futsal. I want to come and play in. He's not getting back to me. And the day before the tournament was really supposed to start and kick off, he got back to me because some issues with visas and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, bam, I'll play. I'll come over. And yeah, the sort of story started then. I met all of you guys, obviously all of the pros like Ronaldinho, Giggsy. Again, Welshman man for me, like, yo, this is crazy. To be here. And similar experience. I think for all of us, it was everybody getting to know each other. The managers, they're sort of like, they're already pedestal. You know, these guys are futsal legends in whatever respect. And like you say, some of us have been playing for a while, even me. I work like very quickly on my team that I'm not going to be able to play as a pivot, and that's my role. You know, for a lot of the games, not many people know that I was just standing at the back as a defender because I knew I could defend. I was a centre midfield in football, so I knew that game, and I just had to adapt really quickly. And thankfully, I got those opportunities to really push up. That's what's good about futsal and score goals as well. So I took one for the team. I win a pivot. I let the other guys do that. And then, yeah, I started to progress in the game, score lots of goals. And the final came about, and yeah, amazing final. But again, crazy. A lot of crazy
Cool.
scenes, crazy stuff happening behind the scenes. Damn. Yeah, mad experience.
You want to talk about behind the scenes?
Yeah, I'll talk about some of it, man. I remember that one time because I think like guys like you and Issy, you had experience with these big high profile events. And
Yeah,
you had from your heart when something ain't going right, you gotta step up and step in. I remember that night in Dubai when we was in the hotel and you and Issy's like, guys, we need to protest, man. This ain't gonna end well. We need to say like, yo, unless something happens, we're not playing. And sort of the pro futsal players, they were like, oh no, I want to keep them happy. And people were really torn what to do. Do you get me? But you know yourself, the way things panned out weren't good. People didn't get paid, and it all looked prim and proper. Ah, Ronaldinho, da da da. But in reality, a lot of bad shit happened too, and that's what
yeah,
comes with that pro life. And for you guys,
yeah.
you sort of knew how the story was gonna end, and with all due respect to you, you still carried on. And yeah, it didn't really end well for a lot of people, man.
No, because we already saw that we wouldn't get paid. That was
Yeah.
what was clear as a bell. But here was the thing, and I think this is a disease in the sport.
Uh
The
huh.
the managers kind
Yeah.
of messed it up for us because if we would say with the whole group, listen, we're not playing anymore, the stakes were too high for these people.
Yeah.
Broadcast rights, ticket sales, sponsors, everything. If
Yeah.
we would say as a whole group, no, we're not playing anymore, they would find a way to pay us. But the
Yeah, man.
managers were afraid that they wouldn't get paid because they made agreements with the organization. So
Yeah.
they're like, hey, wait a minute, my fee will go away. So they told all those players, no, you guys playing. and that's what
yeah.
messed it up. And that's end of the day the reason why we didn't get paid. But
Yeah.
I'm
That's
happy.
right,
I'm
man.
still happy. Say what?
Yeah, you're right. Like you say, your experience within the game, you sort of knew how it was gonna pan out, and a lot of people didn't. They're like, yeah, don't worry, it's all gonna happen. But as you know, it didn't happen.
No,
Yeah.
no. Once it's like once the whole thing is over, they're not gonna pay you. Why should
Yeah.
they? If they didn't even take care of us in India, all those players, the food wasn't that great, the
Yeah.
pickups, the training, the communication, um,
It was all
but
last minute crazy, huh?
yeah, but I think for the Indian population, the spectators, I think it's good that we proceeded. I think end of the day we were the winners because we made an amazing show for the people in India and the
Yeah.
people that watched the episodes. And I think we, especially guys like you and some more guys, really made their names at that tournament because you made
Yeah.
some incredible goals, man.
Yeah, man. That's what it was for me. The way I saw it was, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna market myself, I'm gonna get a new audience, a new fan base, and I'm really gonna go hard. And I think a lot of guys they were just so focused on winning, winning, winning. But like you said, a lot of us just being there, we already won in a lot of different ways, man. And what it
Exactly.
came down to was, how are you gonna take this opportunity, and how are you gonna really win for yourself? Because that's what it was. They didn't give a shit about who's getting paid, who's getting what. Okay, then I'm gonna go and take that and I'm gonna make it my own. And that's what it was for
Yeah.
me. So maybe like people didn't get paid, but I got paid in so many different ways, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I
Because
showed up. I dyed my hair white because I knew, like, yo, I'm gonna market myself here and people's gonna remember who I am.
yeah. So
Yeah,
everybody who's watching and everybody who's gonna watch this a little later, this dude right here was the reason why we didn't win the tournament. And to be very honest, I'm not used to
right,
not
brother.
winning tournaments. So
Powerful.
I was stunned, man. I was shocked. But to be very honest, you guys deserved it because even though I think at one point we had the better of the game,
Yeah,
the way we reacted to referees, situations in the game, even spectators wasn't the right thing.
yeah.
And I think you guys won it fair and yeah.
That's it, man.
And
That's it. Respect, brother.
no, I really believe that. And I thought it was unfortunate that we didn't stay in India because I really love the Indian crowd.
Yeah, the
These
passion was
people
there,
are
huh?
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So let me show you one thing. Give me 1 second.
Please.
So my screen was shaky a little bit, right? Oh, wait a minute. See that
Yeah.
shirt?
Yo.
This is the Indonesian shirt, and it's attached to the Dutch shirt.
Amazing. I seen this on Instagram, I think, huh?
Yes, it's possible.
Sick. Sick. I
It's
love that.
because this guy was making customized shirts, and he knew I was part Dutch and a little bit Indonesian, so he made this shirt for me, and I'm very proud of it.
Amazing shit, man. That's another thing as well. So I also remember in India, a lot of people, they're trying to get the star shirts, Ronaldinho. I'm like, yo, Ed, can I get your shirt, man? I remember getting your shirt signed. I got Issy's shirt and I got Ronaldinho's and Giggsy's. That's all I cared about. I didn't care about anyone else. And yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that a lot. I still got that shirt. It's
You do?
in my room.
Please don't tell me it's in a box somewhere in
Nah,
in a
bro.
closet
Nah,
in,
bro. I
in the
got all
garage.
these shirts.
I know how it goes, man. You get so many shirts during those years, and
Yeah,
you have all piled them up. But it's good memories because especially now. Now I look at back at the things that I've done and the things that I've achieved and the people that I've met. And when I take out those jerseys now, I'm like, whoa, I've been there too. I've met him and I had an amazing time with him. So
crazy, man. Epic experiences, epic.
Hey, well, you were in the room with
King,
what's his name again? King. What's up with
King,
King? You talk to him anymore?
not so much, man. He's in Manchester, so he's a few hours away from me. But I think he's doing his thing. He's doing some coaching for Manchester United, and then he's
Oh,
playing
cool.
futsal for Manchester. So he's doing good, man.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
drop him a little message every now and then.
oh, you do? You still in contact with him?
Yeah, yeah, he sends some highlights through and stuff. He's good,
Cool,
man.
cool.
But
So, brother,
he's
say
from
what?
Holland as well, huh?
Yeah, yeah. He speaks
Yeah,
Dutch, and he went to England
from
a
a
couple of
kid.
years ago. Yeah, maybe. I'm not so sure anymore, but also a very nice guy, man. He made me laugh so much in
Man, he's a
India.
character, bro. He's a character.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy. But
Yeah.
brother, I wanna ask you this because I think that's very inspiring, and I think that's also something for the younger kids to know, and also maybe for kids that don't believe in themselves due to um, maybe their length,
Yeah.
maybe their weight, whatever. You just told me like I was a chubby kid.
Uh,
You told me you had to work hard, and people forget that, even street football, futsal, in order to become the best or to be relevant in the game, you got to
yeah.
work your ass off. Can you tell me a little bit about your process?
Yeah, so for me, like I said, up until the age of 18, I was this football player. I was one of the hot prospects in the academies of Newport County. So it's a League Two club where I'm from. And people's always telling me, oh, you're going to make it, you're going to beat this guy. And at 18, I hated football. I fell out of love with it. I stopped playing for a whole year. And then I found out about street soccer and futsal at this tournament in Denmark with those guys. And for me, it was a reinvention. It was like, yo, God gave me a second chance. So I got to work. So when people say to me about excuses like, in my country, it's not so big. In Wales, futsal, it don't really exist, man. But for
Yeah,
me, that was my opportunity to get ahead. So there was no professional futsal player. So, okay, I'm going to be the first professional futsal player. The league's whack in Wales. Okay, I'm going to work my ass off and I'm going to go and play abroad. So I'm messaging clubs every night, 5, 6 a.m. This is reality for me. I'm thinking like, yo, I'm going to use this to my advantage and I'm really going to take it to that next place. And the fact that I was Indonesian, it made sense for me to go to Indonesia. A lot of people, they say, oh, Rico, you gone to Indonesia. That's how you blew up. But they disregard the fact that I was the first international player to sign and win in the league. So many 32 international players have been there now. They don't get the success or the fan base that I've gotten. Do you know
hmm,
what I mean? So when people say, it's because you went to Indonesia, they forget also that I've been to 6 different countries winning 6 national titles. Do you know what I mean? They forget about America, about Australia, about going to Dubai, to India, all of these tournaments, the first. They say, he's just been to Indonesia. Or even people, they say, man, you're just a celebrity. You just look good. You're just this creator. And then when they meet me in real life, and when it comes to the shove on the court, and they see like, yo, this guy's actually the real deal, that's what it takes. I love all of that when people telling me that. You're a celebrity. You're just an actor. You're just an Instagram player. Because I know when push comes to a shove, and we're on that court together, they're going to see a different side. So for
yeah,
me, when people saying all of that, the sport's not big in my country or I'm too fat, it's just excuses. They don't really want, they don't really want what they're saying that they want to achieve. It's just
yeah,
excuses. People say, I didn't make it as a pro because I got injured. Nah, man, I don't accept none of that stuff. Even when I went to Indonesia, the first time I went to Indonesia, it was hard for me, bro. It's my first professional contract. These Indonesians didn't like me. I'm this European. I'm coming in. I'm getting more money than them. I got my own nice apartment in the city. The club's taking care of me. I got injured, man. I got people knocking on my door wanting to kill me and stuff. People don't see this. But for me, it was like, yo, when I finish in Indonesia, I'm going to go away. I'm going to work my ass off. And I'm going to come back here. And I'm going to show these people the levels. And that's what I've done. I went away. I put the work in for months and months and months, just on the court, working on my craft. Started playing with Farcal, the Ricardinho, the India thing. And then I went back to Indonesia. And the league, I tore it to shreds. Like, I was going through games animal, like an animal. And they saw that side of me and they're like, yo, actually, this guy's the real deal. And I won the title. But yeah, man, to cut a long story short, if you want it bad enough, you're going to make it happen. If not, stick to them excuses, man. Stay over there. Do you know what I mean?
I love that mentality. I wanna two things that I wanna talk about real quick is
Yeah.
that there's a lot of football players sitting on their ass at home and they expect it to just drop in their laps or somebody else will hook them up.
Yeah.
Where the people that eventually succeed in this game are the ones that take initiative, right? So
That's
that's
right.
something that is very, very important for players or people that want to do something within the scene or the sport. You
Yeah.
gotta put in work, man. It's impossible to just sit on your ass and wait for success to drop in your lap. So I'm really
That's
happy
right.
that you shared that story, and it's also about commitment. And also, what I really want to address is that I think it's funny how people talk about the level in a country is bad or it's lower than European standards, but
Yeah.
they don't understand that it's not true. Maybe in Europe you're a little bit further, um, like technical wise, like plays and everything like that.
Uh-huh.
But I played in Suriname, right? And
Yeah,
they
I see
say in
these videos,
Suriname,
man. It looks crazy.
they say Suriname the level is not as good as Europe. But I
Yeah.
gotta tell you, man, I had to adjust because it's different. It's physical, it's faster, it's more, it's less organized, which make it very confusing. So you have to be very good in your, how do you say that?
Awareness.
What goes around you, your
Awareness.
surroundings, awareness. Yeah. It's just a different type of play. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say that in South America, Asia, or Europe there's a better way of playing. It's just different. But
That's
I can
right.
imagine you going to Indonesia, you had to adapt the height.
Yeah.
It's way more harder in there. It's a different
Speed.
climate. The language.
Uh-huh.
There's so much different aspects. So it just makes it more difficult. I was struggling in
Right.
Suriname.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say that I was a less better player, but I just had to take the time to adapt.
That's good advice, man. I never actually thought about that, but it's true. And I think that's what served me so well. When I go around these countries, I adapt, I pick up different bits of skill. It might be skill, it might be my awareness, it might be my knowledge of the game, it might be my fitness, like you say. When I went to Indonesia, I'm a giant to those guys, but they were faster than me. They were fitter than me. The way they manipulated the ball. Honestly, man, they're like the Brazilians because they're so short and sharp. They're lightning fast. But for me, like you said, I had to adapt. So I'm like, okay, so I'm not going to be as fast as them guys, but I got my strength. So I'm going to wait up top. When I get that ball, I'm just going to wrap the guy and I'm going to smash it top corner. So like you say, it's having that awareness. Okay, I'm not going to try and be that fast guy who's going to be killing everyone with speed. I'm going to be that strong guy because that's what I'm good at. And it's like you said,
Yeah,
it's adapting, knowing your strengths, and also knowing your weaknesses. So you don't put yourself in those vulnerable positions where people's just going to make you look stupid. Do you know what I mean? It's having that broad awareness. And that's another thing for me. Like I say, going back to the Wales thing, I didn't really have a crew of amazing players to be inspired by. Like you guys, you had Issy, you had Lenny, you had all the crazy guys around Holland, yeah? The BF guys of street soccer. I didn't have that. So in my mind, like, yeah, I'm a sick player. But when I went to these street soccer competitions and I stepped in the ring with these guys, I was like, yo, actually, I'm not as good as I thought I was. So I went away, I worked hard, I came back, and then I developed that awareness that, okay, so I'm never going to be that guy. I'm going to work hard being me. And then when I started to really truly focus on that, was when my game took off, man. And again, I think it's looking at people from other sports and seeing, okay, like I used to study Michael Jordan religiously. I know everybody's on it at the moment watching this whole Last Dance thing. So Michael
yeah, I
Jordan
know.
right now is hot. But back then, I'm watching his game religiously, like how he manipulated games, just his presence in a game. And I'm thinking, how can I adapt that to me? I'm going to go in, like in Australia, before the games, I would go to the sauna. And people say, hey, don't go to the sauna. You're going to get dehydrated before the games. But for me, it was a chance to get in my mind, to put myself in that fatigued state. So before I'm going to think, I'm going to be tired. But I want to do that because if I can get past that, I'm going to be a level above all of these guys in a few months, a few years down the line. And it's taking those sort of strengths from other guys in different sports and bringing them to your sport and making it your own.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. And there was another thing that you just mentioned, which I think is very important. You know, when you go on social media, you see certain type of players, you know, especially within street football. And you said something that really hit me. You said I didn't want it to be I couldn't be that guy, or I didn't want it to be that guy. I wanted to be the best me. And I think
Yeah,
that's very important. People don't look at their own strength and work from there, but they look at a
yeah,
player how they want to be and try to be that player. And
that's
I
right.
think you know what your weak points are and what your strong points are, and if you build from your strong points and then
Yeah,
become you, like you just said, I think that's
yeah,
the most important thing. And you can already tell by you being a pivot player. You don't see them a lot, you know.
that's
And
right.
you're a true pivot player. You're just in the middle. You just wait. You're patient. You wait for that
Yeah,
ball. Once you get the ball, you know it's a goal. You know, and
yeah,
I think we need to be more balanced in a team because we have like 4 or 5 similar players in a team where we
yeah,
need to be balanced out. You know, we need to have somebody that can grab those balls and distribute them. We need somebody to be able to make a move, and then need this guy to score. And
that's
a
right.
lot of teams miss this guy that scores, and I think that's also where you like special in the game.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. That's it,
Yeah.
man. I think for me, knowledge of self is the most important knowledge. Like everybody's looking on the internet, they're watching videos of YouTube, they're trying to do this, they're trying to be the fittest, but they don't have the knowledge of themselves. They're not aware of their strengths. They're not aware of their weaknesses. They ain't just sat there on the beach and thought, okay, let me really tune into who I am and what I'm good at, and I'm gonna go and work on that. You know, there's a lot of
Amen.
guys out there who's skillful, and every day they're just working on skill. They're working on skill. You can only take it so far. You need to start thinking like, yo, okay, so I'm great at skill. What am I not good at? Am I not good at being a team player? I'm gonna go and put myself in a team, and I'm gonna try and be a team player. I'm gonna forget about the skill for a hot minute, and I'm gonna go and be a team player. Do you know what I mean? But it's like you say, people online now, it's a blessing and it's a curse. This whole online game of having skills and videos so accessible because everybody's a pro now. Everybody's a coach now. You know,
Yeah.
you got Johnny from next door who's never played the game in his life, but he's got YouTube and the camera and he's looking good. But when it comes to game time, this guy can't perform. So it's kind of a scary world out there, man. And you know
Yeah.
yourself, these guys, you meet them in real life and you're like, yo, this guy's whack. This guy can't even play. And he looks so good online. So I think it's, like you say, this whole social media hype, it's a blessing and it's a curse, man.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You know, it has its positive side and its negative side.
Yeah,
You know, it makes the world a lot smaller, which is good. You know, it
yeah,
makes it more accessible for tricks or advice, or you know, maybe even having a chat like we do.
yeah,
But it also has its downsides. Like I spoke to STR's skill school, you know, Steve
yeah,
Roberts, and
yeah.
he explained to me, and it's something that I will never forget. He said you can imitate a skill, but you cannot imitate um, um, shit. I forgot the word, man. I know it in Dutch. Instinct, but you cannot imitate
Instinct.
instinct. Yeah, or you can copy a trick, but you cannot copy instinct. That is exactly
That's
what he
right.
said, and that's something that I always remember. And that is true. You know, you can go online, you can master that skill, but if you don't have that instinct,
Yeah,
you know, you won't be able to execute it.
yeah, that's another thing for me. Like you say, there's so many people out there and they look amazing. When it comes to crunch time, like you say, they don't have that instinct. And I was watching one of the videos on here. I can't remember who he was interviewing. I think it might have been Sean Garnier. And you said that Ronaldo, R9, was one of your
Yeah.
idols growing up.
Yeah.
And for me, that's why I'm RZ9, RZ9, R9. For me, this guy's instinct. So people, they think, in terms of skill, he was just ruthless. And that's how I
Yeah.
like to be. I ain't trying to dick about too much with the skills. I'm just direct. When I got that ball, I'm coming at you like Ronaldo. And for me, it's like,
It's true.
that
Yeah.
instinct you can't teach, man. You can't
Yeah.
teach. And
Question.
another thing I got from you
Oh,
guys,
go ahead.
I remember that you guys, you were stressing on YouTube, you know, the whole skill thing. Unless you're doing this skill for some sort of purpose, to score, to assist, to take someone on, to win a corner. I remember you saying something like, I don't care how skillful you are. Unless it's got some purpose in it, then it don't matter to me. That always stuck in my mind. And every time I practice, I'm like, I don't care how pretty this looks. Unless it's got purpose, I don't want that skill.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, you know. And of course, we're talking about, we have different disciplines in the scene, but we're talking about street match, 3v3, 4v4, 5v5. So that's
Yeah,
what we're talking about. We're not talking about Pana or 2v2. That's a totally different game. So,
that's
but
right.
I totally agree with you. So I got a question.
Yeah.
2 moves that you know out of the top of your head without even thinking, second nature, or 20 moves that you have to think about.
2 moves. That's all I need.
Tell me why.
2 moves. It's like what Bruce Lee says, you know? It's not about the man who knows 10,000 kicks. It's about the man who knows one kick and has practiced it 10,000 times.
I love you, man. Love you. No,
Love,
but
brother.
that is the problem, and I think it's up without people even knowing. It's almost a trap. You know, we show so many moves on social media, and everybody wants to be able to do that new move,
Yeah.
where we don't give ourselves the chance to make something a second nature. You know what
That's
I
right.
mean? I did the akka millions of times before I went to the next move. You know,
Yeah.
and now you see all these moves and you want to stay relevant, so you want to also show everybody that you can do that new move. Forget about it, man. Just
Nah.
be yourself, know what you are capable of doing or not, and
Yeah.
just practice these moves until it's like a second nature to you, and then go to the next one. You can rather have 1 or 2 good moves than 100 which you don't be able to do. Because if I have to think about the move, I'm already a couple of seconds too late.
That's right. That's right. Like you
Yeah,
say, man, it's that whole 10,000 hours, you know, for something to become a habit. They say everybody they wanna practice the Akka 3 phase and the rainbow, the flip flap. But when it comes to game time, you see them and their minds, they're trying to adjust. They're 1v1 and they're like, oh shit, I've run out of ideas. Because like you said, they don't have that one just go-to skill that they know they're gonna be ruthless with and they're gonna take someone on. So for me,
yeah,
100% the 2 skills over the however many skills, man.
great. So I got 2 questions, which I think is very interesting. Um, there's this guy. He said, wait a minute, guys, hold up. And I think it's important this question. You guys talked about improving the physical performance. Could you guys
Mhm.
talk a bit about improving and adapting the mental performance and the mental state, if there is any time, of course? I think it's a very interesting question.
Yes.
Can you maybe give him some advice?
Yeah, for sure. So that's what I picked up mainly. You know, everybody talks about Michael Jordan and the physical. He was an animal to be trained around. For me, what I adapted of him was his mental endurance. And there's these books that I've read on mastery. The book by Robert Greene. I don't know if you heard of him, but he wrote a book with 50 Cent as well on the 50 laws of power. And I remember I would used to train. I would train in the gym for 2 hours. I would go and train for futsal for 3 hours. And then it would be like close to 11 o'clock at the night. I would, instead of catching the car or catching the bus home, I would walk. This is in Australia. I would walk through the dark streets, like past gangs, past like alcoholics and past like drug dealers. And I would be scared. Sometimes they would shout and I would be so scared I would just sprint. I'd have my gym bag on and I would sprint. And that was when I was a grown man. Like, that's how afraid I was. But I would purposely put myself in these places because I knew, like, yo, if I'm going to put myself in that place and I know I'm going to be afraid, when it comes to game time, fuck, man, I'm just going to enjoy it. There's nothing to be afraid of. So when people talk to me and they say, oh, man, how do you get confidence before a game? It's just like, yo, the game is a game. It's to be enjoyed. If you ain't enjoying the game, you're in the wrong place, man. Do you know what I mean? The only game you should be worrying about or stressing about is the game of life. So for me, if you feel like when you before the game you're not confident or you're feeling scared, either one, you're in the wrong game, or two, you haven't put the work in. Because if you've put the work in, you've got nothing to be afraid of. You know, you can shoot, you can score, you can be a team player because you put yourself in those positions. But if you haven't, get to work, man.
Yeah, I totally agree. I do. There's
Yeah.
one other question that's quite similar. Are you born with instinct or do you practice them, and how?
Damn, man. I think like instinct, it goes back to knowledge of self again. You know, if you know yourself, if you tune in, I could go really deep on a spiritual thing because, as you know, probably online, that's what I'm about. Spiritual practice, yoga, meditation, and being present. And watching that Michael Jordan thing, you know, towards the end scene, that's what they talked about. Michael Jordan's greatest gift was his ability to be present, to be in the moment, his knowledge of self and everyone around him. So I think for me, instinct can be something that's trained through practice,
I
you
totally
know?
agree. Yeah,
So yeah,
100%. I also think that instinct is you got to be in a certain situation. I'm sorry, guys. English is not my first language. So you have to be in a certain situation numerous times in order to recognize the situation. You know, it's very simple. If you have volleyball, right?
yeah,
If the ball goes over the net and this player is standing and he knows how far it is, he will let it go because he knows, if it's too high, it will go out. They know exactly where they're standing, on what position, and how far from the lines. And if it
yeah,
goes very high, they know it will go out of bounds. So I think if you play a lot in different situations against different players, you recognize situations, and that become instinct. It
that's
is
right.
my opinion.
Practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So, what is your biggest achievement in football until now?
Whew. My biggest achievement in the game, to be honest, yeah, was I think taking my dad home to Indonesia. So it's not no title. It's not playing with any superstar player. It's taking my dad home. So my first contract as a professional player, my dad, he was away from Indonesia a long time. You know, I didn't come from a rich family. My father was a seaman. He met my mum in Belgium. He jumped off the boat in Belgium and he didn't go back on the boat, man. My mum was on holiday and he was a poor man. Do you know what I mean? So he came to Wales, started fresh life. And for me, when I signed that first contract, I said that my dad was my agent. And part of my contract was bringing my dad back home to Indonesia. So for me, that's probably my biggest achievement in the game, to take my father home that he hadn't been for a long time, man.
That's an amazing story, man.
Yeah, it's
That is a
crazy,
story.
bro.
Yeah, that's amazing. What was your darkest day in football?
My darkest day in football, I think experiences with managers. You know, like when I went to France, this is another thing I wanted to talk to you about. So when I went to France, I'd just come back from Asia and they had this coach there, yeah? This Spanish coach. And his mindset was, because I came from Asia, I wasn't good enough. So I
Yeah,
signed in France, 3 months. I picked up this injury, but in all honesty, looking back, I think it was an injury of the mind. So this coach, no matter what I did, just like a bit like you guys when you was in India, you know what I mean? You knew when you got that chance, you was going to show up. But if you can't have the chance, there's nothing you can do. And that's what France was for me. I stayed there for 3 months. And in the whole 3 months, I played one game. 4 goals. Not many people see this. But because of this man, no matter what I did, he wouldn't put me on. And when people have control of your game and your life that much, bro, shit gets dark. Shit gets dark real quick.
Super
And you
dark,
go
man.
from here to there. Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
reality. And you have no control. So my advice is, when you're going through these experiences, it's hard, but somewhere in all of this is going to be some gold. There's going to be some gold amongst all that dirt, and it's something to teach you. Do you know what I mean? And for me, when I was there in France, it was a chance for me, okay, I accept no matter what I do, no matter how good I am, he's not going to play me. So I'm just going to go ham. So I just worked on myself for the whole 3 months. I came away from France. I was in a good place, man. I wasn't a good place in futsal, no. In life, yeah. And that's the most important thing to me.
I totally agree. And people underestimate how difficult it is to travel and to not be with your family or with your friends and being in a different country on your own. People underestimate that, you know. People
Yeah.
they see a lot of successes on social media, but you know, I've been in Kuwait for 5 weeks for a tournament during Ramadan period, which is already very difficult. But it's also a
Yeah.
period where there's not a lot of stuff to do, you know, and if you're in your hotel room for a week and you have to wait for the next game, people don't
Shit.
understand how hard that is, you know, and it eats you alive, man. And I've been in numerous situations like that, and you know, and luckily in Kuwait we got treated well, but we
Yeah.
also been in places for 5 6 months where they didn't do what they said they were gonna do, and that's
Yeah.
hard, man. Being away from your family, sitting in a hotel room, staring at the wall, eating different food, you know, being lonely. Loneliness is tough, man. Loneliness
It
is
is,
tough.
man.
Do you agree?
Tough. Like you say, a lot of people, they see these tournaments like Premier Futsal or NAS Sports Dubai, but they don't get to see the real insight of what's going on behind the scenes. Like you say, staying in your hotel, people not paying you, not getting treated right. All they see is shit, man. Look at this skill, look at this goal, look at this title. But somewhere behind that title and all the gold, there's a lot of dirt, man. But some people, they ain't made for this. Do you know what I mean?
No.
They want to be this pro. They want to be this star. But when it comes to that dirt, they collapse because they
Yeah.
haven't put in the work. Do you know what I mean? But that's what they need to understand. With all of the gold comes a lot of dirt. Unless you're able to take that, look for something else to do, man.
Everybody's watching now or watching later. This is, yeah, preach, exactly. This is very important things to know
Yeah.
because, you know, if you want to be successful, you got to do stuff that other people are not willing to do.
Ooh, trust me, brother. So
Yeah.
true. Like I said, when
Yeah.
I was in
But I,
Indonesia, man, they win at one point, the club weren't paying me. So I'm threatening them like, yo, you don't pay me, I'm gonna tell all of the media. The next thing you know, man, I got some guys coming for my door wanting to kill me and stuff. But obviously, I'm this young guy. I ain't telling the world this. I ain't telling my parents that because I don't want them to worry. And I'm this young guy, ain't in a country I've never been to on my own, and I'm just having to take it. But that's when the boy becomes a man. Do you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But some people they
Shit, you're breaking up. Damn. No, my man, Rico, you left, man. I think he's having trouble with his connection. I hope he will be back. We got another. Um, so if there's questions, you can ask them now. Yes, FIFA Volta. That's right. Let me check. Let me check. Messi or Cristiano? That's difficult, man. I'm more of a fan of. Nah, that's not true. I think Messi is a natural better player, and I love Cristiano's way of working his ass off to become the best of the world. Thanks, Pee Wee. Love it too, man. Yo, my son is here. As soon as we can fly, man. As soon as we can fly. What's the secret to the flick up? In what way? What do you mean? Oh, that's Rico's flick up. Yeah, that one is crazy. He scores a lot of goals with that. I'm not gonna comment on that. Rico's gotta answer your question, bro. Because that flick up is insane. How was it being in FIFA Volta? Big compliment. Amazing. It's yeah. I think you can get it can't get any better than that, right? What can you do that will top FIFA Volta? Please tell me. So you're saying that you didn't get a chance to do a tryout? Try out somewhere else, man. You know, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. So don't give up. Never give up dreams, just to adjust your dreams. To be very honest, I never trained my weak foot. I just played with my stronger leg, and all of a sudden, once the tricks were over, I had to use my left. So I just started passing with my left, then I did a skill with my right leg, and I came out with my left leg to shoot. So it started with passing, shooting, then grabbing the ball back with my weaker leg, and it went natural, to be very honest. Ah, he's back, he's back. I love Air Max 1. Hold on. Where's Rico? He was just here. Where you at, bro? There we go. We're waiting on Rico. He's coming back.
My battery
Yeah,
died.
it was your battery.
Yeah.
Well, it is what it is. I'm happy, but at least we get a chance to say goodbye and say goodbye to everybody. I really
Yeah.
want to thank you for this opportunity to have this chat with you. I think it was very motivational, and I think it's very interesting for all the people that listen to your story and get motivated.
Hmm.
And there was one question, and you need to answer that. What is the secret
Okay.
behind your flick up?
Secret behind my flicker.
It gets so high.
Yeah, it's the positioning. So most people they flick the ball straight towards their body. I flick the ball towards the side. So when you flick like this, you can generate the power. When you flick towards the side, you can sort of curl up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for me, definitely, because I like to
Yeah.
cheat, and you're a cheater too. Because it is those little things. It's like an air aka, people just face you like this, but you got to be able to stand like a little diagonal for in order the ball to get beside the opponent. So sometimes it's just those
That's
little
another thing
things
I
which
picked
make
up
it
from you
easier.
guys.
Say what?
That's another thing that I picked up from you guys. Those fine details. Like
Yeah,
the lean, just to
yep,
get the width and stuff. It's
yep.
important, man. So thank
That is.
you, thank you.
It was amazing to talk to you, and we definitely have to do it again. Maybe we can get
Yeah.
into the questions more deeper. but I just wanted to have this light conversation, just talking about your journey, your struggle, your highlights, and just giving people advice. And I think you're the perfect example of somebody putting in effort and working his ass off to become successful. So I want to thank you again, and good luck in your journey. Oh, I really want to know what you're gonna do next, by the way, man. But we gotta save that for another time.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah,
Definitely. At the moment, we're just working, but something big's on the way for sure.
sounds good, brother. We'll be in touch. Okay.
Also, I just want to thank you, bro, for everything in the past, for inspiring a generation, and for taking to this game to the whole world. You know, this street soccer. Maybe people they look at it like football, and then street soccer is just for the poor guys. But you took street soccer and you made it a worldwide thing, and I just want to commend you on that for keeping it real as well, man.
Thanks a
Protecting the
lot,
game.
man. I really
Love,
appreciate that message.
love, man.
Same to you, bro. Thank you.
See you.
Talk soon.
Peace.
Peace.